My name is Jun Park. Originally, I was born in Seoul, Korea, and currently I am an associate professor at the School of Information Studies. I have three key components in my research agenda in information security. They are scalability, fine granularity, and survivability. Scalability means, if we have a security solution or security technology, okay, even though itself the technology is very strong, but if the system is very large, or if there are many different kinds of users with various permissions, while their mappings are changing rapidly, sometimes we cannot simply use those existing solutions. So when I say that my solution is scalable, that means the solutions can work not only in a small system, but also in large system or organization. Okay. The second one is fine granularity. Okay. When the size of the organization or the target system is increasing, simply what we could do is we could just reduce the control granularity. So in my research, when I say fine granularity, while the approach is still scalable, but it still maintains fine granularity so that we can provide more accurate and more secure services. And the last one is survivability. So in my approach, when I say survivability, that means if a software component is compromised or is attacked by internal failures or external attacks, or any different kind of reason, if something bad happens to the current component, okay, especially in a sensitive organization, there should be some way to continue the mission of that particular component. Okay, so in my research, I try to find some solutions to continue the critical missions, even though there are some damages or attacks in the target system. So in summary, in my current research agenda, I focus on scalability, fine granularity, and survivability. I think the first step is to identify the problem, right? And then, including me, we should do some survey who have done kind of similar kind of work in this area, and then what are the actual advantages or some kind of weaknesses in those existing areas, and then we can enhance those existing work to solve the problem that I defined. Okay, or unfortunately or fortunately, if nobody has done similar kind of work, then we should start from the scratch. Then there will be more contribution, I think, although it takes longer time. And I can come up with some, new mechanisms or new security models. Okay, this can be applied to all those three different streams. And then after that, in the second step, I try to find some support mechanisms, okay, to support my framework. In the final step, I try to implement my ideas and my inventions based on the models or mechanisms that I developed in the first step. Resources, first of all, whenever I have a new idea, I draw a very, very brief sketch or make a note. Otherwise, I will forget, right? So, and then I keep working on that and making some progress on that. And in the meantime, to find some related work. Now, previously, I went to library to see to read some abstracts or the actual papers. But nowadays we have digital libraries. So since in our case our university has a license to the digital libraries, such as IEEE or ACM, we can easily find high quality research articles there. One of the issues was kind of time management, because as a faculty here, we have certain time, right, for teaching, service, and research. Although at our school, okay, the number one priority is on research, fortunately. But I still, have some other, commitments and responsibilities. So sometimes I just talk to myself, I wish I could have more time to do my research. But the time management is kind of my challenge at that time. Another one was kind of teamwork. Okay, you don't know what kind of people you are going to work together, but different people have different kind of expectations. Okay, especially if a project is very large project, you have people like 20 or 30 different people from different angles, different areas, and they have different kinds of views. When I was a PhD student, my PhD advisor, he was my mentor, and certainly at this school, now I'm tenured actually, but in the beginning when I was a junior faculty member, the school assigned senior faculty members for me. But at the school, people have different research backgrounds and different research interests. So in my case, I didn't have any other faculty members whose research backgrounds are perfectly matching with mine. But since they already have very good experience, they know how to research, right, or how to produce better outcomes. So I got very good advice and help from my senior faculty members, which I still appreciate. One of them is my son, actually. One day he was playing with the small Lego blocks, and then he developed different kinds of stuff like houses or animals or airplanes or vehicles, different kinds of things. And one day I realized that although he can develop different kinds of final products, there are just a certain set of building blocks. Just the same shape, right? Different kind of blocks, and just colors are different, right? But by using all those kind of common building blocks, you can develop different kind of final products. So I applied that idea to my research here. So recently I got involved in some user and permission management project. Probably the most important step is problem analysis. What is the problem and what is the weakness in the current shape? Because some of those people just go to the solution area right away. I mean, it might work, but in the end, we will see where they are going, what the problem is, right? We don't know that.